Buonasera, buonasera signori tutti, ci siamo a bomba, a bomba, a bomba, a bomba. Welcome, welcome gentlemen, and we are very honored and proud to be here with Mr. Erik Ulfsson, Mr. Marajczuk, and our main guest, Mr. Erik Larsen. Welcome, Mr. Larsen. Welcome to Strangebol. It's very happy to have you here.
Okay, it's great to be here.
And once again, Mr. Erik Ulfsson. So double Erik tonight, just one letter of difference, and in the name. And Mr. Marajczuk is over there. Mr. Marajczuk, are you alive? I feel you a little bit white, but it's okay because we are very
I'm
excited.
so.
Mr. Erik, how's going?
Are you going to differentiate one, Erik?
Yeah, you have to be more specific.
Yeah, okay. Mr. Erik with C, that we saw you with the big fure on the back. How's going?
Oh, for me, it's great. It's great to be here with Mr. Larsen. It's an honor. I've been a fan of his work since I was very young, so it's a great opportunity. I'm absolutely humble of being here.
One thing I would like to say, because in the pre-roll we said to Mr. Larsen, we jump back when we are 14 years old and we go on the shop purchase comics, okay, we felt in this way, originally felt in this way. So for us to have you here, it's really felt like happy kids in this sense. Personally, I will tell you this story, I still 1 minute to the talk, because when I heard that in Lucca, at the comics exhibition, there was a Mr. Larsen, I said, no chance. I said to my wife, let's go wherever you want. I have my comic to bring with me. I need to go to Mr. Larsen, maybe making a queue of 2 days. Don't worry about that. Leave me there under the rain, no problem. And I will stay there. So if you want to find me, you find me there, because I need to meet Mr. Larsen. Absolutely. And my number of Spider-Man that I have here, signed by Mr. Larsen, it's here covered from that day. And nobody have to touch it, otherwise I became very enraged.
Yeah.
Anyway, Mr. Larsen, I call you Mr. Larsen just to not repeat once again Erik with C, Erik with K, okay? Just Mr. Larsen for this reason. Like Reservoir Dogs, no? Mr. White, Mr. Black, Mr. Pink. And
so from here on out, Erik will be the guy in this big, comfortable chair.
Yeah.
Look at it.
He has a comfortable chair made by, I don't know, big sheep, something like that.
Yeah.
It looks super cushy.
Yeah, it is. I don't think the sheep is comfy right now.
So when you work, do you work sitting in that chair? How do you keep from falling asleep?
No, it's just for show, because it gets very hot. So it's just for show.
Okay.
It's because the weather here is it's a little bit snowy and it's quite cold. The temperature dropped down. So Erik would like to show us that over there the temperature is very low. It's not because it's cushy. No, it's cushy.
It is cushy also.
All right.
Anyway, Mr. Larsen, going straight to talk with you. Just for introduction, we are a couple of streamer, couple of a TTRPG gamer, triple TTRPG gamer, and Mr. Marajczuk is also an illustrator. So he's a streamer and illustrator and bring the art of illustration even online. That is very important because he just draw online and he told me there is Erik Larsen on live. Okay, what I have to destroy or making something blow up to be there? I said it's nothing, because you are my friend, so it's you are welcome in this talk. Okay, so that's the point. And anyway, Mr. Larsen, we are usual to make a question in the beginning of our talk to all the people that comes here, just to let introduce yourself. Mr. Erik Larsen, please explain to our chat who is
the hell are you?
explain to our chat who is Erik Larsen.
Who are you and how did you get in here? What do I say? Like, my name is Erik Larsen. I write and draw comic books, I guess. Is that about it? I've usually it's like, oh, I know that guy. He did Spider-Man like 30 years ago. Like, all right.
No.
I've been working on Savage Dragon for the last 3 decades of my life here. Good Lord. It does add up.
I would like to remember that here Savage Dragon is very popular. Here in Italy is very, very popular thanks to the local editor, Cosmo, if I remember well, that brings Savage Dragon here in Italy. And it's we are very long time fan of this comic. Even us too, because Savage Dragon bring us back into the era of comics that now is little bit disappear, little bit. So you are a proof of something that is no more so well drawn just because, you know, the art is changed, the comics are changed a lot of. And Savage Dragon is something that let us say, okay, here we are again. There is a comic over there that it became us so little young in the memory, and it's very cool in my way, in my perception, because it surfed into the eras. So you see some covers with precedents, with happening into the United States, in the world happening. So this is a very, very cool thing. And the style is the style of Erik Larsen comics drawing art. Am I right?
All right.
Yeah.
You know, I like to set, I mean, this book is set in real time. So the characters do age and change.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I like to do in the series is tie it into real world events, so that, I mean, a lot of people when they're doing their comics, they don't want to date them because it, you know, by putting a stamp and saying this takes place here. But I'm trying to date them so that you can go, oh, this is during the time that George Bush Sr. was in office, and when Dragon woke up, and then it was like, you know, Bill Clinton shows up in the comic. And when we talk about movies, it's always, you know, whatever's in theaters right then and now, and try and tie it into real cultural events constantly, even listing real dates on people's gravestones and stuff like that, so you can really get a sense of time and place always. You know, so right now, COVID-19 is raging everywhere. So I've had to address that.
Do you just one question in the between? Do you think that the period that we were in lockdown helped the people, even the young guys, to reconsider again the comics in sense of a paper book? Just you know, there, when it was so easy to go on the shop and purchase a physical book, no, it's something that we are usual to do. With the lockdown, with the closure, with everything that was closed, I think, this is my perception, I don't know in the United States, I just asked you, that people was so more in love with the paper, with something to touch and to read, except
it seemed that way. I was really concerned going into it that this was going to be the death of comics, but our sales on stuff went up, so life is good.
Yeah,
that's good. Like, geez, if I can continue, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
So
I understand.
I'm happy with that. So I guess people were getting stuff mailed to them
Hmm.
or something. I don't know how they managed to make it work, but they made it work, and thank God for that.
I understand.
Well,
Let's go, Eric.
I think that people in those different difficult time had the need to something different than digital, because we connected with other people with a lot of web based interface. So maybe reading a comic book, reading a book was something real and something more connected to reality than digital interface. And I am a huge fan of Savage Dragon. I just feel very old remembering when a friend of mine a long time ago, when I was very young, showed me this new comic. I had no idea about it. You check this out. It's really amazing. And I discovered Savage Dragon at the time, and for me it was a blast. So I have to thank you for this comic in particular, and I'd like to ask you about your art, your influences, your inspiration today in your actual works, and in the new future, in your future horizon. What are the main inspiration? What inspires you?
That changes all the time because I'm constantly. I kind of think of Savage Dragon as being my love letter to comic books in general. So it changes constantly as I'm doing the book. There'll be periods where I think when I started, there was more uh, influenced by probably Frank Miller and his Daredevil stuff,
Yeah.
because I had, Overlord, who is essentially my kingpin, super powered kingpin, and then as time went on, I just kept going, oh, but I want to do something more like Jack Kirby over here, who I was a huge fan of, or let me bring in a little influence of Simon Bisley and what he's doing with putting veins on everybody. Let me do some of that, and then, but it's really all over the place because there'll be times where I'll really get into Chris Ware and I'll be like, what can I bring from that in here? What can I bring from Robert Crumb in here? What can I bring? And I'm looking all over the place. And so when I'm in other countries, I'm buying their comics like crazy, and so I'm bringing in stuff from Italy, from England, from Japan, from France, whatever, wherever I go, and I don't necessarily know every title and every creator by name, but I'm just looking to see what's new. What can I bring in that's not there before? How can I expand this? Um, it's just everything, and so there were periods where the book will change fairly dramatically from one thing to another, um, as I just try and do something else. I'm trying to have fun with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, part of it is especially if you're working on one project for a huge long time like that, is to change things up and find new influences and new ways of doing things, so it doesn't all, so you feel like you're creatively involved and moving forward and doing something. Um, I don't want to stagnate and just
Mhm.
feel like I'm repeating the same things over and over again. So it's finding a way to change things up.
May I tell you honestly one thing, Mr. Larsen? Uh,
Yes.
the you told me one thing that is very important, because sometimes in comics, you need to do, after years and years of history, of stories that look the same, no, for many comics that happen, they have to do a drastical revolution just to let the comics be purchased from a new public, new eras of readers. No, Savage Dragon have a totally different thing that you just explained right now. You it's like your vision of the world, no, going through the years, like a Forrest Gump that is running, no, running through the decades, no, just being on the wave, surfing. So if I have to describe, for me, Savage Dragon is like surfing on the eras. Okay, just always be on the top. I make you a comparison, just for example, Lobo, no? It happens in sometimes that Lobo have completely reconstructed the character according for new possible more interesting ideas, like a new skinny boy, skinny man, more. It was a protest, a big protest by the fan that said no, come on. Lobo could surf into the heroes, but you cannot change for 180 degrees because you leave ourselves without any possible referring, you know? I don't know where we are going. This not happen with Savage Dragon. And this is what I like, for example, because you have not to do any revolution because you are going straight into the wave. And this is very great if you think that this thing is going on 1992, and you are telling this story in very, very simple way. You said, I like it, I do it. So this is very incredible for us to hear something, because here in Italy, as I told you some days ago, here you are sometimes more superstar, more superhero than the superhero you created, you know? Your names became bigger because there is an ocean between us and you. So for the United States, maybe comic is a normal media, is media that is used everywhere just to explain something. Here is something that brings the sensation of the United States that Italy has in so many decades till the age of the year 2000, no? That the world became smaller and so on. But the things that you are telling us, it's very important, because normality in creating some comics, it's the most important thing, I think. This is my position. Maybe Erik or Maraichuk could have a different position, but this is mine. That's why I love Savage Dragon and all the comics that you make. Even not Image, but even for Marvel, for DC, everything you do.
Thank you for that.
I hope that you appreciate this analysis.
Yeah, the thing with Marvel is they can't really afford to do what I'm doing, because I can have my characters age, I can have my villains die, but they can't count on successive creators coming along and creating a new character as popular as the Green Goblin or Spider-Man or Doctor Doom. So they can't really afford to knock those guys off. Whereas I'm not really worried about that. I'm just coming in here just going, I'll make up new bad guys. It's not even a big deal. I'll have my character move to another town and set up a whole new everything. So
we are the son of the era of the saga of the clone of Spider-Man. So if someone said that if you can survive to the clone saga of Spider-Man, you can support anything.